May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
May the best brand win. Yeah. Episode 16. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday, everybody. You are tuned to that show everybody's been talking about. Everybody being everybody in my family, of course. May the best brand win on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. I am Scott, that guy they were talking about, and part-time roadie, sometimes full-time roadie for my band, of course. And with me here on the air is the man that makes it all work back at Intertalk Central, the bat cave of Intertalk, and that is Paulie B. How's it going, Paul?
Good. How's it going? I'm kind of the roadie of Intertalk Radio.
I like that. Roadies, that's the Lord's work right there, I got to say. That's important stuff.
Lemmy started out as a roadie for Hendrix.
That's right, baby. That's what I'm... And even if you're a fantastic musician, you're never too good not to carry your own stuff. You know what I mean?
Keeps you in shape.
That's what I think. Well, cool. Well, if you have a question for me, as sometimes you guys do, make sure you email me at scott@robertsoncom.com, 2 M's for the first, com, like communications, and I will be sure to answer anything right on this show. I do appreciate the emails that I get, people enjoying the show. I really appreciate that. So anyway, fire it back to me. And of course, I'm also all over social media on Facebook at Robertson, facebook.com/RobertsonCom, or Twitter at RobertsonCom. Just reach out and connect with me and enjoy those feeds. Hopefully you'll be entertained and get a few cool tips too. So today, on Friday, we are talking here about offensive communications. And I'm not talking about football, like the headset that never seems to work when you bring it into New England Patriots Stadium. I mean like communications that offend people. So if you're a communicator in 2016, it's extremely likely, about 100% likely, that your brand is going to do or say something that will offend someone. So you might as well just get ready for it, And what do you do when you offend somebody? And it depends on a number of different factors. There's no perfectly right or perfectly wrong answer for that. So kind of like your relationship status on Facebook, quote unquote, it's complicated. So this week we're going to dive into offensive communications. Again, not football. It's not even football season, so why would I be talking about offense right now? And we're going to teach you, what to do when you offend people and when it happens to you, and it will. And of course, we're always going to look at who's winning and losing out there in the wonderful and satisfying world of marketing and communications. So without further ado, let's dig into segment 1 and really just talk about, so when did the world get so sensitive? I get that question sometimes from folks in marketing. They say, man, it's so politically correct out there. When did this happen? And they're looking for like the intelligent academic answer. But the truth is, like a lot of things, it's gradual. But you can certainly see how in recent years, with the advent of social media and more sort of immediate reactions to things and comments and those sort of things, that the world certainly appears to be more sensitive. And there's actually it's kind of a good news, bad news situation where you have everybody has the ability to comment on things in pretty much real time. The bad news is everybody has the ability to comment on things in real time. So you, as a communicator, you got to be ready for it. You got to know how to use the tools, and you got to know, what people are saying and what makes a situation. So let's talk about it real quick. There's a March 4th article in the Huffington Post that I kind of liked called "Is America Becoming Too Politically Correct?" And I encourage you to read that. It's kind of interesting. Here's a good one from the article. Students at the University of California, Santa Cruz protested last year after burritos were served at a space-themed science fiction club meeting. The reason? Some felt that the space theme connected with the term illegal alien or alien with the Hispanic immigration and culture. So that's ridiculous. Can we all just raise our hand and go, there aren't words for how stupid that is. The bottom line is it's a science fiction club meeting, right? I mean, the deck is already stacked against them. You know what? Don't protest these people, honestly. And And they mean alien like it's a science fiction club thing. It has nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with immigration. It has to do with, aliens, science fiction club. Context is a really important thing in communications, right? Like how things are said, we study that. And if you go to communications school, they give you song and verse on context and that kind of thing. And some people just sort of naturally understand it and are able to do it. So let's hit the dictionary definition of politically correct, because some people misuse that sometimes. So good old Merriam-Webster defines politically correct as, quote, agreeing with the idea that people should be careful to not use language or behave in a way that could offend a particular group of people. So that's vague. That's pretty vague because, beauty and offensive communications are often in the eye of or ear of the beholder, right? I would say, or the audio equivalent of the beholder. I don't know what that is. We'll address that on another show, I imagine. But, the world is extremely politically correct. People, it's very, very rampant. And I do just want to take a few seconds and talk about why that is. Why it is the same reason that kids misbehave or that pets misbehave. Attention, right? When you give attention to people that are doing behaviors, psychologically speaking, the behavior is what percentage more likely to happen again. If you guessed in the 85 to 90 percentile, ding, 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 correct answer. Reinforced behaviors are extremely likely to happen again. So if a group gets offended and gets attention or money or anything to further their own cause simply by being offended, then I'm going to say the likelihood that they're going to be offended much more often is going to be high, very high. Social media fuels it, right? You can just tune in and just wait to be offended by something some brand says or something. And of course, let's not forget, money makes the world go round, and money makes offensive communications go around. Basically, there are whole classes of lawyers out there that are just waiting for you to be offended enough to where they might have a lawsuit and they might be able to get a settlement offer out of some brand for doing something offensive. Obviously, that's a very extreme case, but it does happen. It does happen, especially settlements that are off the books. You won't necessarily see a press release that says such and such brand settled with such and such group over this amount of money, but it happens, just so you know. So let's talk about who regulates it. Obviously, the Federal Communications Commission regulates any actual offensive language, curse words and the like. But with so many people obviously having cable, really that's the networks primarily. And then of course, when you move into your satellite and cable, it's a free for all. I watched an Amy Schumer special last night on Comedy Central, and what's funny about it is they bleeped all the words, and then immediately after the beep, all the curse words were there. Like where all the curse words were there. So I'm sitting there going, why is the beep there? What I'm not exactly sure what that was supposed to be necessarily. Either somebody had like poor timing on the beep button, or they just simply are like, we don't really care. But they said we had to beep something, so here we go. And of course, who could forget Jimmy Kimmel and his unnecessary censorship? Go to YouTube and make sure you check out Jimmy Kimmel's unnecessary censorship videos. They're always so funny. It's just, all he does is just beep, words and sentences that could potentially, it's just so magnificently well done. Make sure you check that out. But the truth is, as a communicator, the groups will tell you when you've offended them. Believe me, you'll know. And then it is decision time. One of the common things that I like to tell my clients is that, so if the brand has done something offensive, first you have to determine, have we done something offensive, or does somebody just not agree with us? Right? Because especially if you're a professional services company, I counsel a lot of those, and I'm one myself. And sometimes we put opinions out there. I put opinions out there on the show, and people might not agree. And I say, Merry Christmas. You are welcome to not agree. That is okay with me, and that's got to be okay with the brand too. Some of the nastiest exchanges that I see, like on LinkedIn, I see comments, are people that somehow believe that everybody has to agree with them. And, you just need to put both feet on the good old Mother Earth here and realize that is just not going to happen. Again, Rotten Tomatoes is a great teaching tool to just show you the differences and the variances in how we see the same things differently. Really, very, very important communications lesson to be found on that site. And I've referenced that before. I send my clients that site, especially when I feel like they might have an unrealistic expectation of everybody needs to like or agree with me. I feel it's my duty to let them know that they're trying to push against the ocean there. That ain't going to work. So again, when it comes to offensive communications, one of the first things we have to determine is, does a group think that we're wrong, or do they think that we have completely stepped over the line and done something offensive? And a lot of brands that try to be funny can offend, right? And believe me, if you're out there pushing the edges, if you're a brand that's out there pushing the edges, you're going to offend people because, like as Mel Brooks said, all good comedy is on the edge of offensive, and always. Otherwise, it's not funny, right? That's the edge that comedians walk. Now, can brands do it the same way? Sometimes, depends on the execution. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But it's like I said, it's really, really important before you go flying off the handle and respond to really think through and determine sort of what type of response the offensive communications is going to warrant. We're going to dig into a lot more in this episode, about offensive communications. Come on back. We're going to talk about some examples and really kind of find out where the rubber meets the road on this. You're tuned to May the Best Brand Win right here on InterTalk, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. We'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks a lot.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on InterTalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICHWICH. Whichwich.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers. at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
May the best brand win. Hello, happy Friday. We're back. You are listening to May the Best Brand Win right here on Inner Talk, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. And I am Scott. And with me still is the man making it all still fly out to you on the airwaves, and that is Paulie B. How's it going, Paul?
Pretty good. I'm the most politically correct person on this network. Anyone will tell you that. I never say anything inappropriate ever.
I never say anything inappropriate. Yes, exactly. So you can just sign off for the rest of the episode because you're good to go.
Yeah, it doesn't apply. I never offend anybody.
Well, good. Today we are talking about offensive communications, communications which that should offend people. And in the first segment, we kind of talked about how the world gets so sensitive and kind of why it's happening and all that kind of fun stuff. And now I wanted to call your attention to an article that really made me laugh on WikiHow, which is great. WikiHow is awesome. It's built as a site that shows you how to do anything. But they have these awesome cartoons, and it's almost, you feel like maybe it's not serious, but they are actually serious. And there's a great one that I want to draw your attention to. It's called How to Avoid Offending Someone with a Strong Opinion. And I can't do it justice here on the show, but you need to check this one out for yourself. It's really, really funny. I mean, it's not intentionally funny, but it's as you kind of look at it, you'll see what I mean. It basically talks about keep the conversation light in a group of people you don't know. And if you're trying to make a good impression, this may not be the time to bring up your firmly held beliefs. And so I kind of laugh at that, because my entire philosophy and structure of communications is about being yourself, is about being real. And there's another article in the in the New York Times. That was June the 4th, and it was basically in the Sunday. It was an op-ed, and it's from a guy named Adam Grant, and he says, "Unless you're Oprah, be yourself is terrible advice." And he basically, and he's right, he has the right to his opinion, of course, but he basically says that really people don't have any interest in finding out the real you. And then there's a great line in here that sort of really is revealing about his. Oh, here we go. Here's what he said. Deceit makes our world go round. Without lies, marriages would crumble, workers would be fired, egos would be shattered, and governments would collapse. So that's pretty much saying it, isn't it? I have to say, he may not be wrong, but I'm not doing it that way, is how I'll say it. I think it is much better. Especially much better marketing advice. And, this is a marketing show. We're talking about marketing. To be a marketer in this world today, I am a fan of being real. Does that mean everybody's going to agree with you? Probably not. Does that mean that, occasionally you're going to offend people? You might. But does that mean that you're going to be able to also attract an audience that, agrees with you and is sympathetic towards that and the kind of audience that you want to be working with and that kind of thing? Yes, absolutely. I'm a huge fan of that. I'm a huge fan of the brand knowing what it is, why it's there, what it's supposed to do, and then just unapologetically being that, right? We talked in the show a lot about branding. We talk a lot about that core essence of branding. So this author would say, once you've determined, what your core brand essence is, that you should always make sure that you don't offend anybody with that. I would say exactly the opposite. I would say be your brand and let the audience figure it out for themselves, right? and you know, whatever that means, it means. But the greatest sin that you can have in marketing is to not be interesting and to not be on brand, in my opinion. So I'll take the folks that might, you know, misunderstand or disagree or be offended, the small percentage of that when you can get the large percentage of people that will be with you. So anyway, I encourage you to check out that story, though. It is a really interesting point of view. I do not agree with that point of view at all. However, I do think, you know, he's got some good research to back it up. And for certain people, maybe that is the path that makes sense for them. Who knows? Let's talk about a few examples that are going on out there. I want to talk about Tila Tequila, and I probably just said that wrong, but she's always in the news doing something goofy. But she got kicked off the show Celebrity Big Brother, and Celebrity, by the way, should be in quotes if Tila Tequila's on there. Celebrity Big Brother for her remarks supporting Hitler. That's a bold choice. And wearing so-called sexy Nazi costumes. And she talks about illegal immigrants in a really nasty way on her Twitter feed. And then she had a bunch of this stuff. Then she deactivated her Twitter feed, right? Because I guess she got a lot of negative feedback. Then she came back on it, and she issued an apology where at the end of the apology, she basically just continued to insult people. So, you know, and then, of course, you know, she says, here's my official apology for my recent statements. And, of course, the apology is not – it really just – it makes her look sort of unhinged, right? And obviously this could be done for a lot of reasons, one of which is the fact that she made some headlines, right? And nobody was really talking about her before, but now she's got some headlines. And believe me, there are people who do what I do for a living who look for ways to make headlines no matter what. I'm not a fan of that approach. I don't think that I don't subscribe to the theory that all publicity is good publicity. This is actually the story that I'm looking at right now is terrible publicity. For her. And, you know, if you want to, some celebrities want to play the villain or whatever, but, you know, I think she's handling it wrong. I think it is wrong. I think she has done some, you know, some pretty offensive stuff. And I think she may be doing it with a financial motive in mind on her side. And again, why is it happening? Attention, right? It's about attention. It's got a financial model attached to it, all those kind of things. Let's talk about the Washington Redskins, right? So, everybody said for the longest time, I'm a big NFL football fan, they said the Washington Redskins logo and name Redskins is offensive to American Indians here, Native Americans. So I have a lot of friends that are Native Americans here in the great state of California. And so I asked them at the time when this was bubbling up, and I said, does that bother you? And they're like, no. What bothers me is the fact that the football team's so bad, you know? And it's like, you know, so they did a poll. The Washington Post conducted a survey, and they found out that nobody really cares, right? So here's a situation where there's senators involved, and they're going to revoke their patents, and we're gonna write this wrong, and nobody cares. This is not a situation that anybody cares about, right? And the data proves it over and over again. This isn't the first time. So everybody's reacting to this thing, and the first thing you want to ask is, ask the Native Americans, do you guys care? And they're like, no, we don't even watch football, or that team's terrible. You know, I mean, who knows? But I'm just saying, 90% of them are not offended. So if they're not offended, what are we talking about again? Let's talk about 20th Century Fox. This defies dumb. So, for the new, and I talked about this last week in the winning and losing section of the show, there's an X-Men poster for the new X-Men Apocalypse movie where Apocalypse, the main character, the villain, is holding up Mystique, played by Jennifer Lawrence, choking her. And then a bunch of groups rallied up and said, oh, we're offended. We think this condones violence towards women. This is terrible, towards women. How could you, 20th Century Fox, how can you do this? And then 20th Century Fox caved in on this. They said, oh, we sincerely apologize for all the pain and discomfort that we caused you and everything else. It's like, man, I'll tell you what, put me in charge of PR for that brand. I'm leaning into that. I tell you what, if somebody is going to be offended by that, then I will dress up my main actor as Apocalypse. I will take him on every single talk show, and I will have him apologize for not only choking Jennifer Lawrence, but for plotting to destroy the world, for hurting all the X-Men, for killing all the army dudes. It's a movie. It's a movie, okay? It's a movie. It's a fictional movie about a god who comes back to life and tries to destroy the world. right? We have waved bye-bye to the actual planet a long time ago in this scenario. And the fact that 20th Century Fox had to cave into this stupidity shows exactly what's wrong with our world today. Don't cave in if it's stupid. Lean into it. Make them feel stupid about saying something that's stupid. That's ridiculous. And you know what? I would have respected 20th Century Fox and the X-Men a lot more if they would have done something funny and something cool with that instead of just caving. Because there is no way that condones any more violence towards women as it condones violence towards mutants who have superpowers and can, conjure a hurricane with their hands. I mean, come on. So, anyway, we're back. And I want to share one little story out of my own collection. I blog a lot, and I write about controversial subjects all the time. As you might imagine, I don't shy away from anything that I might have a point of view about, because maybe it helps somebody. Maybe somebody disagrees. That's fine. And sometimes people will come back on my comments and say, "Man, I really disagree. Here's point A. Here's point B. Here, here's point. I think you're really wrong here." That kind of thing. And I always, whether I agree or whether I don't, I thank them for the comment. It's really important to thank them for the comment. They didn't have to comment or write anything. Maybe they're going to share with their own groups of folks, and that's going to be an audience that comes back to you. There's a way to disagree, a healthy way to disagree, right? First of all, again, you got to start with that mindset that's okay to disagree. But I think that, and in one case, I did one of these blog posts and somebody said, "Oh, that was really offensive what you said." And I said, well, I read it again. I was like, I could see that. I was trying to be funny. Again, that line of comedy. And it could have been a little bit offensive. So I apologized for it, and I meant it, because obviously my intent there was to not to offend, but to entertain. And, sometimes we disagree on what that is. Come on back on this show, and we're going to talk about who's winning and losing out there in the world of offensive communications. You're listening to May the Best Brand Win on EnterTalk. We'll see you in a few.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. MOZEguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, Behind the Velvet Rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
How could you offend me like that? I don't know. You're tuned to May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader in music biz talk and singing. I'm Scott, your host. With me still is Paul, who's learning. He's taking a lot of notes for my show today. I can feel it. How you doing?
Pretty good. I was when you were talking about this, I was thinking about the whole offensive thing. Like, what happens when people do say something that's offensive is that they don't have like an accurate gauge of that they're saying what they're saying is offensive, and same thing vice versa with the X-Men. It's not a big deal,
So
but
true.
people cave. Is there like an objective way to gauge something like that, or do you just kind of have to have like a well-developed sense of rationality? And
Yeah, good question. You know, as I kind of mentioned at the top of the show, it really depends. I mean, I think it is really important to have a gauge of, you know, how many people have we offended here? You know, what do they represent? And then just, you know, did we really offend somebody, or is there somebody with another motive out there? That kind of thing. And I think, you know, you just have to have good sense. I mean, you have to, and I always encourage folks to make sure that we have a good, thoughtful conversation about it before any response is taken on these kind of things. A lot of companies dig themselves in even deeper. Brands dig themselves even deeper by responding before they even know what they're really responding to. And I think that's really what 20th Century Fox, you know, got into, you know, where they're just like, yeah, that's fine. We'll just admit that we did something wrong, even though there's no way they believe they did something wrong. And the rest of the world's just scratching their head going, what? So anyway, let's talk about who's winning and losing out there, you know, and then we'll get back to offensive communications here in segment 4. You know who's losing out there is Axl Rose. Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. He is trying to get a fat photo off the internet. He has petitioned Google to take off all the pictures of him a few years ago when he had gained a few pounds. And, you know, those turned into some great fat Axl memes that are, you know, obviously fantastic, with such headlines as "Sweet Pie O' Mine" and things like that. I encourage you to check those out. So, Axl, you can't erase the internet. Just so you know, what you want to do is be thin and have a lot of photos of you thin. Right, that's the way that you combat the fat photos. Is in the world now here in June. Just be thin, and try to get a lot of photos published of you thin, and then people will forget about the fat photos. You know, the more that you let people know that the fat photos bother you, honestly, the more memes that you're going to see like that. So that's a losing thing there. Let's talk about colors. A new Australian research and marketing project designed to discourage people from smoking has recently declared the world's ugliest color as Pantone 448C, which is sort of like an olive drab kind of action going on. It's kind of green, but it's like a nastier green. I encourage you to check out Pantone 448C or check out one of the many stories about it. You know, and I swear to God, even though this is so that color's losing. Anything using that color, like, can you imagine if that's like your brand palette color, right close to that, and you're like, oh man, we're the world's worst, ugliest color. You guys will laugh, but I have a polo shirt exactly this color. And in recent memory, I've worn it, and I'm like, you know, and I always kind of liked it, but apparently I like the world's ugliest color. So. I don't know. I guess you could lean into it and just say, you know what? It's the ugliest color. I'm going to wear it, whatever. But I do have a polo shirt that's that color, just so you know. But that's losing, I would say. Another losing thing out there, I saw a video yesterday of Barack Obama, President Barack Obama, having to endorse Hillary Clinton for president. And you know he did not want to do this video, right? He has to do it. He has to do it because if he doesn't do it, there's all kinds of stories about him doing it. But he's sitting there saying, and the reason I say losing is, by the way, it's not a political rant or anything. I personally think Syria should be president. But, he had to endorse her. And of course, obviously she really embarrassed his administration with the whole Benghazi thing. No matter what you think, obviously she had to resign sort of in disgrace, and they kind of gave her the nice thank you for your service, but seriously, don't ever show up here again kind of talk. And, he had to endorse her. And then he said these words, and these words are magically overstated. He said that she was the most qualified person to ever have run for the office. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Ever is a long time, folks. There's been some really qualified people who have run for and won the presidency of the United States of America. And as much as you like Hillary Clinton, there isn't a person on this planet that thinks that she is the quote unquote most qualified person who's ever run for president. I mean, seriously, dial that hype machine way back. That's insane that he said that. So I'm going to put that in losing category. Let's talk about some winners out there. Snapchat really winning, growing by double digits. The Red Hot messaging app is growing its user base by double digits in 2016 with a larger audience than Twitter or Pinterest. It still lags behind the number one messaging app, which is, wait for it, Facebook Messenger, and it's that Facebook Messenger is used by 105.2 million users in the U.S. this year. So Snapchat is growing, and growing among that user base that most marketers like. The young people. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, let's say you just know about Twitter and you just know about Facebook or whatever, you need to get into Snapchat. You need to get in there. You need to figure out if your brand could have a position in there and figure out, because you know what, folks, that's growth that you cannot ignore. Make sure that you put them in the winning column and you check them out this week. I do want to do a little revisit on Maria Sharapova. I thought that she handled her crisis, with her doping allegations and performance, enhancing substance allegations very well. Better than a lot of people handle a lot of crisis. And check this out. News story today came out. Maria is going to maintain the support of her major sponsors despite being banned from the sport for 2 years. Now, see, that's what happens when you handle things right. When you handle things correctly, your sponsors don't feel like they have to jump away from you as if your body just caught fire, right? She handled it well. She's able to keep her sponsors. Very, very important. Very, very important to handle these things well. And there are very few instances, almost every instance you see of an athlete being accused of something dirty, their sponsors run away from them and they sort of disappear and maybe they regain, some, at a later date or what have you. But Maria, kudos to Maria this week for that, I would say. Print media is winning, believe it or not. In a poll of global PR firm chiefs featured in PR Week magazine, they believe that print newspapers do have a future, especially in investigative journalism. I think this is a really good thing because I think that, having a free press in this country really keeps a lot of forces in check that otherwise wouldn't be. And, I come from a journalism background. I'm a huge fan of investigative journalism, a huge fan of journalism. I'm a huge fan of there being much more journalism than there even is today. And not just because there's, obviously it's more targets for us in PR, but really the credibility of journalism is really, really important. And everywhere that you go to, I went to a thing where the new owners of the Orange County Registers, talked about their vision for the newspaper, and all the PR people in the room were just shaking their heads, going, "Man, come on, this paper's going to die. There's no way for this paper." But it's cool to see that PR chiefs are sort of bullish on the future of print media. I personally seem to believe that as well. I think print media has been with us for a while. I doubt that it goes completely away. I think there will always be people that favor it. I think it will always have a role, and will always have a role, in especially, larger, more thorough investigations where, let's face it, are you really sitting down and reading, 3,000, 4,000 words or something crazy like that on a screen? I'm not. I guarantee you that. And if I do, I'm going to get distracted by the latest, animal attacking zookeeper video that just flew across. Did you see the one with the panther, by the way? Check out the one with the guy with the panther, because he trains the panther to sneak up on him, and then a bunch of people are like filming it and stuff, and then the panther plays with him after he attacks him. Go check that one out. It's really, really cool. Also winning, I think Sprint's winning. Sprint has a really cool campaign. They took Verizon's "Can You Hear Me Now" guy, and that's Verizon's former pitchman, right? And first of all, Verizon you need to have a longer standing non-compete agreement, so they can't, like, the guy can't go to work for your nearest competitor like less than a couple of years after you let him go. But he did that, and if you see their new ads are great. So, his name's Paul Maccarelli. He's back on television, but with Sprint. And then he's able to talk about, Sprint. And I really think that is a neat thing for Sprint to do. Really, he's trying to convince people that Sprint Network is competitive enough for a second look. And I think that that's a really smart way to deliver it, because people still remember that "Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?" kind of thing. And they do a lot of really funny things, playing around with this caricature that Verizon created, and now Sprint is able to sort of capitalize on. So I definitely would put that one in the solid winning category. So, in summary, we got Axl Rose. Fat photo on the internet. Can't race the internet. That's losing, right? We got our color of death, which I have a nice, awesome polo shirt in that same color. We've got Barack Obama. He's losing this week, having to endorse Hillary Clinton. Man, he's got to be counting the days. Snapchat winning. Make sure you're checking that out. Maria Sharapova definitely winning. And we've got print media winning. And, of course, we've got Sprint media definitely winning with that having that Verizon pitch man. That's who's winning and losing this week. You are tuned to May the Best Brand Win on InterTalk, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. Come on back in this last segment. We're going to talk to you about what you should do if you offend somebody with your communications. Thanks.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, Behind the Velvet Rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
May the best brand win with Scott Robertson's Music Biz Marketing Strategies. Now, here's your host, Scott Robertson.
The one you've been waiting for. Hey, you are tuned to May the Best Brand Win right here on Intertalk, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. I am that guy still, Scott Robertson, and with me, bantering back and forth in a completely non-forced way, is our man in the studio, Paul B. How's it going, man?
Good. Your little intro songs are getting more and more elaborate. I love it. You're getting. It started out with just hums. Now you got some lyrics. You got a verse. I think you got a chorus that you're working out. It's coming along nicely.
It is coming along. It is. It's such a funky bass line. I dig that. So, well, cool. We are talking today about offensive communications. No football reference there. We are talking about communication that offends people. In the first segment, we talked about sort of how the world got so sensitive, why it's so rampant, who regulates it, fun stuff like that. In the second segment, we dug into some examples out there, and believe me, there are countless more. In the third segment, of course, like we always do, we talked about who's winning and losing. And here in the fourth segment, we are going to talk to you about how not to offend, and also how to kind of assess it and deal with it if and when you do. So my first tip on this is, surprisingly, from a communications agency standpoint, you don't always have to talk or comment. And that surprises people when I say that. But I say, you know what? And this is why my opinion is different than a lot of people who are into like real-time marketing, where you comment on everything that's going on in the world and try to tie it into your brand. You know what? Sometimes you can just be quiet. It's really cool. You know, it's really cool that you don't have to like shoulder the load of commentary for the entire world 24/7. It's very freeing to pick your shots and honestly make them miss you a little bit. Some of the brands that get in there, they've gotten into a lot of trouble trying to comment on things they have no business commenting on. And that's my first tip of how not to offend people. When you are making a brand decision of whether there's something you should comment on, ask yourself this question. This is the important question. You need to say, does this tie into our brand? Is there a win for us, in commenting for this? Should we be talking here? You make a conscious decision that we're talking as the brand. And, and when you talk, don't expect everybody to agree with your point of view. Allow for some healthy disagreement. And be comfortable with that. Be absolutely comfortable with it. Some people get really offended if somebody, raises their hand, asks a question, or has a different point of view. You know what? This is America. You know what? There's different points of view on everything. In the music products industry, we always used to joke that, the industry, the retailers and manufacturers that make up the music products industry, we always used to say they couldn't agree on the 10 Commandments if Moses was buying the drinks. And that's true. Every so often, working in management at NAMM always gets the question, why isn't there a public day? Why isn't the show open to the public? Why isn't the show open to the public? Well, as you might imagine, NAMM being the smart organization it is, it surveys its members. And what would you imagine that survey has come back every year since like the 70s when they started asking the question? Would you say 50-50? Because if you would, you're dead on right. The answer almost always comes back about a 50-50 split, right? So, and some people say that, the show people already get to invite as many guests as they want, and it's already kind of a public show in that sense. And as many public as you want are already in the show. So that's kind of a no-win proposition, right there. But, NAMM doesn't expect its membership to agree with each other or the organization. And, you got to be able to allow that healthy disagreement. It's really, really important. Tip number 2, be real. Real works. I don't care what the guy in the New York Times said. Guy in the New York Times is wrong. You know what? Fake doesn't work in our world, and it gets seen through, and it blows brands, and it burns them to the ground faster than anything I can see. It just doesn't work. Be real. Be real. Be true to yourself. Understand your brand essence, and then punch with everything you got. Take your shots when your shots, arise. Again, don't have to comment on everything. Really important to know that. So, if you offend somebody, a group is going to boycott you, boom, whatever. Research the problem thoroughly before you react. If I see one mistake that's made over and over and over again, it is reacting too fast. You don't have to react so fast. You have the benefit of time on your side to make sure that you understand and you can make a thoughtful recommendation. If you're managing communications for a brand, you need to be able to understand how far does this problem reach? What is this likely to do? Did we screw up? Did somebody on the team screw up? Is there somebody that's hacked our Twitter account and there's somebody that's actually trying to do us, damage in sort of a, espionage-y sort of way. That's not a word, espionage, but you know what I was trying to say. So that's what I mean. So, but research the problem before you react. Ask yourself the question that so few brands ask, have the guts to ask. Do we really care? Let's take 20th Century Fox for a moment and the X-Men stupidity, which is the title of the forthcoming X-Men movie, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. So Rose McGowan, starts this thing and says, I think this condones violence towards women. And then it catches fire and a couple of women's groups go, yeah, this does condone violence towards women. And at no point did anybody from 20th Century Fox go, are we all clear that this is a movie? Are we super clear that both characters in the poster are blue? They're blue. They're blue people. There are people who are blue, okay? Blue people are not the same as the rest of us, right? They have powers and stuff. It's a fictional situation. You ask yourself the question, do we really care? And then ask yourself the follow-up question, why do we care? You have to be, if you're going to be counseling organizations, you have to answer the question, do we care about this? Why do we care? Do we care? Rose McGowan thinks this is violence for women. I swear to God, if I'm PR for 20th Century Fox, I'm tweeting back at her and I'm saying, Rose McGowan probably just mad because she didn't get a role or something. She's probably got some other beef or something, going on. It just dumb, And when you cave into dumb, by the way, you lose the respect of your audience. I lost respect to 20th Century Fox a little bit. I got to say, and then another group says, wow, they cave really fast. And maybe they pay money to people who get offended. So maybe we should be offended because if they cave that fast and they're going to write us a check or they're going to give us some notoriety or we're going to be able to ride on the coattails of their movie launches and their multi-million-dollar publicity, then perhaps we should be offended too, So don't do that stuff. Make sure it's a real situation. Make sure you really care. Ask yourself why you care. What's the appropriate action? Tip number 4, take that stuff offline once it gets down in the weeds. If you're having a long conversation about somebody, down in the weeds, nobody else cares. So, take it offline, resolve it, and then elevate it back up into social media and your feeds and stuff once it's resolved. Tip number 5, if you apologize and you might decide, hey, we did offend somebody, do it correctly, mean it. Don't make dumb excuses for something that happened. Make it brief, like a Band-Aid, right? It's just like, don't make a bunch of dumb excuses and hem and haw. Just say, yeah, we did it. We're working on correcting it. No one cares about the excuses. Very important. And a mistake that people make in apologies all the time. They start getting into, well, here's the reason we did it. No one cares. Just saying. So you now live in a highly sensitive, overly politically correct world, and you're likely to offend somebody. Have a plan for how you're going to assess the damage and what you're going to do about it. Brands are run by people, and people make mistakes. Newsflash, you are in the relationship business. And while all relationships count, so do your principles and your core of your brand and your point of view. And you're entitled to those things, even if some people in the world happen to disagree with you. We're a country born of healthy disagreement. We're going to continue to be that. Keep it civil, keep your emotions in check, and by all means, keep communicating. That's it from me. Have a great weekend, kids. This has been May the Best Brand Win on Intertalk Radio, the undisputed leader in music biz talk. You guys have a good one. We'll be back next week with a fresh show. Take it easy.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, Behind the Velvet Rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. Pitbullaudio.com.